Trinity of Sin Pandora number 2 serves as a tie-in to Trinity War. As we saw in part 1 of the event, Pandora planned to use Superman to open the box, but failed. In this issue, she continues her quest to reopen the box and recapture the 7 deadly sins. However, it turns out the secret society of supervillains are also after the box. They send Vandal Savage, Giganta, and Signalman to track down Pandora. They say that if the secret society can obtain the box, the world will be theirs. At the same time, Pandora decides to switch up her tactics. She will move on to her next potential target. She actually seeks out this group of villains and asks to see Vandal Savage. The villains misinterpret her arrival and a brief fight ensues. When the fight dies down, Pandora explains that she wants Vandal Savage to open the box. He has one of the darkest hearts she knows. When she hands it to him, the power begins to overwhelm him, but instead of opening, the box actually draws out some good in Vandal Savage. Pandora then retrieves the box and disappears. Throughout the entire issue, government agents of both Argus and Shade are investigating Pandora. And after the early events of Trinity War, a joint task force is formed to bring down Pandora.
So it seems that even more people are on the hunt for Pandora now. We have government agencies with Shade and Argus working together to try to hunt her down. We got Wonder Woman's group, and if you haven't already, you should check out our Trinity War Part 3 video. And we got the 7 Deadly Sins on their trail as well.
I think a lot of the groups we see in this issue are just more of a setup for future storylines in the Pandora series, because it's going to be an ongoing series after Trinity War ends, so she's going to need adversaries to go against.
The problem I see with that is these people do not seem very interesting right now. And the only interesting thing about Pandora, in my opinion, is like the mystery surrounding her in the box. And if that is, solved in Trinity War, I don't know what's going to come that's...
Well, I think she'll always be going after the 7 deadly sins, even if the box doesn't work out. Although, I don't know why she'd give up on the box.
Even the 7 deadly sins, I'm hoping they have more of a role in Trinity War itself and not just a future role in the Pandora series.
I think they should, because we actually saw them first show up in the New 52 in the backstories of Justice League, when they're explaining the origins of Shazam, so he should figure in there somewhere as well.
And they do seem to have plans. Pride seems to indicate she's got agents somewhere, just like the Secret Society, who seems to have spies everywhere. We're not sure where and who these people are, but there's a lot of mistrust to be had, I suppose.
Yeah, we get to see another Secret Society member in this issue, Vandal Savage, who's, a legit bad guy. And I think that's kind of cool. He actually showed up in the last issue of Pandora as well, so maybe he's going to be another long-term villain for her to go up against. They're both like two ageless beings.
In this issue, Vandal Savage is the one that she approaches as the next target to open the box. What did you feel about that?
I mean, Vandal Savage is definitely an evil guy, but to say is he have the darkest heart, I think is a little ridiculous, because there's so many villains you could say have a darker heart, like the Joker. I don't know.
It seems like every time she goes someone, it seems just hit or miss at this point. And the biggest takeaway I can take from it is that once he touches it, he sort of sees good inside of himself. He sort of says, I'm sorry, and there's something in him that he didn't see before.
So it's like the good got drawn out. So are you thinking that, in that case, the bad got drawn out of Superman when he touched the box?
I think that's a definite possibility if you extrapolate from this. It may not be that he was possessed or he's being mind controlled. Maybe it was that some evil part of him came out.
I also liked when the Secret Society is talking about getting the box. They say, if we get the box, the world is ours. And then Signalman asks, but what exactly is the box? Basically, Giganta just explains it away, saying, if we get it, we win, and we can get whatever we want. What more do you need to know? And I almost feel like that's Ray Fox's way of trolling us by basically saying, you don't need to know exactly what the box is. You just need to know it's important. And don't ask any other questions.
The box is handled very similar to how it was treated in Constantine number 5, which we also reviewed, where Constantine seems to indicate he has some knowledge of it, but he just calls it a fuse and says, don't touch it.
And don't ask any questions more about it.
Exactly. It's definitely a big mystery, and it's definitely just very bad. That's the only thing we can take away from it.
I think mainly this issue and Constantine as well, they both just try to narrow the options of who's going to open the box. And I feel like both of them just point to the fact that Billy Batson, Shazam, is going to be the one to open it in the end. But as a grade, though, for Pandora Trinity of Sin number 2, what would you give it?
I'll give this issue a 2.5 out of 5. Pandora's method for picking who to go after just seems to be guess and check. Her thought process and the fact that this is just setting up future storylines for Pandora really detract from this issue.
I'm gonna give this issue a 2 out of 5. I guess we did get a little bit more insight into Pandora, but this really wasn't at all an essential tie-in to Trinity War.
Thanks for watching B3 Comics' review of Trinity War tie-in Trinity of Sin Pandora number 2. Before we go, we have a question for you.
In this issue, and Trinity War in general, we see that all these groups are looking for Pandora. Who do you think will find her first?
Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, make sure to check out our announcement video from last week where we announced a new video series and we're looking for your suggestions.
You can also vote multiple times if you check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks!